Well, hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jonathan, and this is Mr. Pearson Talks Books. And as you can see here, I am holding a very large stack of some very big books, which I'm going to set down because they are falling and they are heavy. Oh, now that I got that all taken care of, I want to talk to you today about some really big books that I have on my shelf that I have to tell you, I'm just a little bit intimidated to read. I have picked these books up along the way, primarily because I was peer pressured into reading them by other booktubers. Only kidding there a little bit. But I did see them. I've heard wonderful things about many of them. So I picked them up and thought I would give them a try. So the first one that I have is this right here, and this is Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. I think I pronounced that correctly. And you can see that, I mean, that cover is crazy right there. And you open it up and there's still, so this is one that probably will not be taking to school with me. But I've heard great things about this particular translation. And this is the story of a young student who commits a terrible crime just to see if he can get away with it. And then the fallout from him doing that. And this particular book is, I'm flipping through here, looks like it is just over 500 pages, 518 pages. But you can see, I mean, that's a pretty big book. Very interested in reading this at some point. Next, I have Larry McMurtry's Lonesome Dove. And I have heard great, amazing things. It seems like every single booktuber that I follow has read and recommended this book. I will say I did try reading this earlier this year, and I got about 100 and so pages into it and kind of hit a wall. And this book has nearly 900 pages, about 850 pages. It's a big, thick book, which may be why I kind of petered out. There were lots of other books at the time that I wanted to read, so I kind of set it aside, but have every intention of getting back to it. Another book that I have, also by Dostoevsky, I think I am pronouncing that correctly, and if I'm not, somebody correct me. And this is The Brothers Karamazov. This one came, there's a booktuber that I like. His name is Ian Gubeli. And he raved about this book. And this is about a family of brothers who, after their father is killed, and their father is murdered, and how their lives are affected. And I've heard wonderful things. Again, this book is even bigger. This one is close to 1,000 pages. I just picked this up about a week ago when my wife and I were on a trip to Pennsylvania. Got this at the Barnes & Noble there in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So definitely looking forward to reading it. You're going to hear this a lot in this video, but this one also was recommended by a lot of booktubers, including Ian Gubeli, and that is Alexander Dumas, The Count of Monte Cristo. Now, I'm thinking that I have already read this at some point. I know I've definitely read an abridged version of it when I was younger. I went through a phase in college where I read a lot of French Romanticism. So I read the Phantom of the Opera. I read The Hunchback of Notre Dame. So it is very possible that I have already read this. But this is the story about a man named Edmund who is falsely imprisoned. And he goes to jail, finds a way to escape from the prison, and then goes out and exacts revenge on all of the people who were responsible for sending him to prison. So This one comes in looking like just over 1,200 pages. The next really big book that I have is another Ian Gubeli recommendation. Got to stop following him. He's making my TBR too big. And this is The Stand by Stephen King. I watched the miniseries. As you can see, this has the Gary Sinise cover on it. There was a miniseries when I was younger that was on TV. I think it was on like 4 nights or something. And I remember watching it and absolutely loving it. But, you know, this is a story about the end of the world. There's a virus that gets out and pretty much kills everybody. And the survivors are gathering in Denver or Colorado someplace. But there's also Randall Flagg, I think is his name, who wants to basically bring in the apocalypse. So interested in reading this at some point. Then 2 books that I've had on my bookshelf for quite some time. These are 2 biographies. The first one is the biography of President John Adams by David McCullough. McCullough. And I saw the first episode of the miniseries that came on. Was really interested. I do like reading biographies. I just have to be in the right headspace for it. And then the second biography, also here, really big book as you can see. This is the Alexander Hamilton biography by Ron Chernow. I absolutely love the musical Hamilton, all the music. Saw it. I had the opportunity to see it at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C., and really enjoyed watching it. We've seen it several times on TV also. And so I bought this, and it has been on my shelf for a number of years. At some point, I do need to go ahead and read it. And then finally, the last book that I'm considering as a big book for this video, and this is actually the smallest book in the set, is this book right here, A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. I consider this a big book because it is almost 400. I think this particular edition is 350. I've had this copy since college. I have read it once or twice before. But it is a challenging book. It's one that really takes a lot of work to get through. Be honest, I think it's this and A Christmas Carol may be the only Charles Dickens books that I've read. So I think I need to remedy that. So those are some books, some big books that I have on my shelf, on my physical TBR, if you want to call it that way. That doesn't even include all of the Brandon Sanderson books that I have on my Kindle. A few years ago, they were on sale, and I picked them up. I've read through the first one of the Stormlight Archive, and that was over 1,000 pages, and all of the other ones are just as substantial. So at some point, I'm going to work my way through those. But a big book, you got to be in the right headspace for it because it is a commitment. But I want to just share those with you. Some big books that I'm hoping to tackle in the near future. I can't, like I said, I can't promise that it'll be next year. But hey, once I read one of them, I'll come back here and share it, and then you can celebrate with me. So down in the comments, I'd like to know, what's the biggest book that you've ever read? Is it anywhere close to one of these books, or is it even bigger? Maybe you've read the entire Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson, or maybe you've read one of the books that I featured here on this video. Let me know down in the comments. I'm always interested to hear what you're reading or what you'd recommend that I read as well. And as always, my name is Jonathan. This is Mr. Pearson Talks Books. We'll see you next time.